CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeremy Hansen.
The worst case scenarios, I think, always go through your mind when your kids are involved and you're not there to support them.
Tonight on CTV News, students sent home early after a possible stabbing at Jasper Place High School landed one student in hospital. Good evening. A scary incident for students at Jasper Place High School this afternoon. They were sent home early after one of their peers was taken to hospital with what police called undetermined injuries. Parents and students tell CTV one student stabbed another around noon. That's when Jasper Place and nearby St. Francis Xavier High School were locked down. The mother of a girl in grade 12 at JP says while it was a frightening experience, it was reassuring to be able to text her daughter during the lockdown to confirm she was safe.
Just waiting to find out what actually happened and to know it's official. The worst case scenarios, I think, always go through your mind when your kids are involved and you're not there to support them. But I think the schools handled it really well. The teachers that were, in the classes with the kids were working to keep them calm and informed. So we really appreciated that.
Police say they found the suspect near the school and took them into custody. No one else was injured and the area was deemed safe by mid-afternoon. After the lockdown, students at St. FX resumed classes while those at JP were dismissed. The incident also interrupted a bike-a-thon at Jasper Place. The charity event was postponed. The Artemis II mission is now complete. The 4 astronauts, including Canadian Jeremy Hansen, are back on Earth after a journey around the moon. CTV's Joy Malvin has more.
From a soothing wake-up song in space to a nerve-wracking homecoming, NASA troubleshooting. They changed the re-entry route to make it less dangerous. Only 13 minutes of searing heat as the space capsule Orion hurtled towards the Earth at 40,000 kilometers an hour. Described by the pilot as riding a fireball, the return is harrowing, tough on the body, says retired Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield.
After 10 days of weightlessness, they'll be getting now crushed with 3 or 4 times their weight, where it's hard to even lift your arm up and it feels like your eyeballs are being crushed with the flames licking around their vehicle.
The first parachute slowing Orion down for a soft splashdown in the Pacific. The Artemis II crew traveled deeper into space than any other humans, collecting scientific data and giving us stunning new celestial images of the moon and planet Earth. Reflecting on it all, Canada's Jeremy Hansen.
We live on a fragile planet in the vacuum and the void of space. Our purpose on the planet as humans is to find the joy in lifting each other up by creating solutions together instead of destroying.
And there were unforgettable moments. A moon crater named after Commander Reed Weissman's late wife.
It's a bright spot on the moon, and we would like to call it Carol.
Talking to the Prime Minister.
Canadians are so proud of what you're doing.
The U.S. President.
Congratulations to everybody. I'll see you at the Oval Office.
Fixing a lunar loo.
We definitely have to fix some of the plumbing.
And chasing a floating Nutella jar. On their last day in space, the crew sent messages home.
I just want to look at my daughters, Ellie and Katie, and just say I love you.
A woman who shot and killed another woman in a West Edmonton apartment in 2023 has learned her fate. Kiana Redbeer was sentenced this morning to 6 years in prison. CTV's Amanda Anderson has the details from the law courts.
It was October 2023 at this apartment building near 156th Street and 100 Avenue when the shooting happened. 23-year-old Winter Star Dion, a young mother, was killed. Today, a 26-year-old woman, Kiana Redbeer, pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder. Through her lawyer, she instead pleaded guilty to the lesser manslaughter with a firearm charge, which carries a mandatory minimum 4-year prison term. She was originally charged with first-degree murder by police. In an agreed statement of facts, the court heard Redbeer had been in a previous romantic relationship with Dion's younger sister. They had gotten into a fight earlier that day, and Redbeer broke several windows. Right before the shooting, Redbeer was repeatedly yelling through the broken windows for the sister, who wasn't there. Others who were inside saw her at the window holding a gun, and they ran out of the suite into the hallway, closing the door behind them. The court heard Redbeer fired the gun through the living room window. The bullet traveled through the closed apartment door and hit Dion. 911 was called. Officers arrived arrived to find Dion in critical condition. She died on scene soon after. The Crown asked for a 7-year sentence, while the defense wanted 5.5. After taking time to consider the facts and Red Bear's background, the judge decided 6 years was an appropriate sentence. Moments after the judge gave his ruling, Red Bear's mother got up to leave the courtroom. She was upset and yelling, "It wasn't Kiana. It was not my daughter that shot that woman," she said as she left. With time in pretrial custody, Red Bear has a little more than 2 years left on her sentence. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The city says it has video of some of the suspects who used a malfunctioning ARC card machine to steal tens of thousands of dollars. ETS says neither police nor peace officers have been able to identify any of the thieves.
We've closed, and I'll just say there's no risk to our card holders either. We've implemented additional processes and reporting and monitoring.
Between September 2024 and June 2025, the city says roughly $65,000 worth of fraudulent transactions were made using the machine. The city identified more than 300 suspicious ARC cards and recovered $20,000 from them. An Edmonton judge has ruled a petition on separation cannot be verified by the chief electoral officer until there is a decision on challenges made by First Nations groups. Those groups argue the petition violates treaty rights. Experts are weighing in on what would happen if a majority of Albertans voted to leave Canada. They say the path to independence isn't as easy as one might think. CTV's Nicole Weisberg explains why.
As the group looking to extract Alberta from the rest of Canada continues gathering signatures, a local law professor says a majority vote for separation would only be the beginning.
The first thing that we absolutely know that doesn't happen is that Alberta just magically becomes an independent country.
Eric Adams says that's because the law states no province has the right to unilaterally secede from Canada. The Supreme Court of Canada ruling came after Quebec's 1995 referendum on separation. It saw Quebec vote to stay by a razor-thin margin.
So the only thing that a referendum does is signal to the world and to the rest of Canada that there is this serious issue. Now, the other thing that it signals and triggers is what the Supreme Court of Canada has said is a duty to negotiate.
Meaning, Adams says, the federal government, provinces, and other stakeholders would have to work together in good faith to try and come up with a resolution.
The Constitution cannot be amended unless every province in Canada agrees.
There's also the wild card of international reaction, particularly from our southern neighbors.
They may take the position that they are prepared to recognize the sovereignty and the independence of Alberta. If that starts to happen, then those constitutional negotiations at home in Canada become a lot more fractious.
Adams says there's also no clear precedent on how Indigenous rights and treaties would play into separation talks. After Quebec's referendum, the Supreme Court of Canada mandated these be considered, but did not go into detail.
We are off the map of our Canadian histories.
If, in the end, it is decided Alberta should separate, then begins the building of a new nation. Although Alberta has vast oil and gas reserves, one economist says being landlocked is a major disadvantage.
Then Canada can impose tariffs, the U.S. can impose tariffs, and for the separatist group that says, well, we're going to impose tariffs on goods to try to cross through an independent Alberta, guess what? People will find their way around it.
Premier Danielle Smith has promised if a citizen-led petition gets enough signatures, the government will put Alberta separation on a referendum ballot. However, with court decisions on this issue still outstanding, there is no certainty on whether it will make it that far. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Unemployment is on the rise in Alberta, though it's still below the national average as we see job gains in a couple of sectors. CTV's Tyson Fedor reports.
19-year-old Perla Garcia has been looking for a job for nearly a year in Calgary.
You apply everywhere, send your resume to everyone and every place and you get no reply, or you get an email back that they've picked another candidate.
The latest job numbers from Statistics Canada show the national unemployment rate holding steady at 6.7%. Here in Alberta, the unemployment rate climbed slightly to 6.5%.
The national numbers aren't very good. We saw a bit of job growth, but we had job losses in the first 2 months of the year. Alberta looks quite a bit better, actually. You've seen divergence in regional labor market conditions where Alberta has really separated itself from the rest of the pack.
In March, 14,000 jobs were added nationally, a slight rebound from some steep losses in February. But the higher unemployment rate is having an impact on people's wallets.
Consumers are getting pushed to the edges of their map or the edges of their budget, right? And if you don't have any more cash coming in, you have to borrow or you have to cut, and that gets really stressful for households.
Year over year, Alberta saw a 4% job growth across all sectors, the highest in the utilities sector at 38.5% since last March, and nearly 18% in healthcare jobs. And that could signal a strong future, with local Calgary businesses bidding millions of dollars at a record-setting Calgary Stampede canvas auction.
Last year we had $3.8 million total, and so yesterday I would have said if we can just get close to that, that would be fantastic. And so to surpass $6 million, it's just absolutely incredible.
You got to, take it with a bit of a grain of salt, but it is quite telling that at least the corporate level, there's more confidence.
But for people like Garcia, any job would go a long way for her future.
I would take anything at this point. I've been applying for anything and everything.
An Alberta author says it's empowering to be able to tell the story of Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen. John Larson has been working with Hansen over the last 2 years, documenting his time preparing for the Artemis II mission. He says his book, Earthrise, is a story about technology, cooperation, and most importantly, the people behind the mission. Larson calls Hansen the real deal. He says it's authenticity that makes these types of stories resonate with anyone who reads them. Well, the world's first professional curling league is about to become a reality. The Rock League is hoping to grow the sport around the globe. CTV's Adrian Gabriel tells us fans can't wait.
A sport synonymous with Canadian culture is getting a professional push.
It's something that's never been done, never been seen before.
The Rock League marks a world first, a professional international association featuring 60 of the world's best curlers from a dozen different countries.
The new league has its sights set to rock the Canadian sports landscape. It involves 6 franchises, and it always helps when you have a Canadian curling legend involved. Hurry hard, hurry hard. John, I think your game with the broom is slipping slightly.
Well, I've been retired for 2 years. It's hard to help a heavy rock.
Two-time Canadian Olympic gold medalist John Morris has joined the league as a strategic advisor, helping to clear a path for this historic endeavor.
We have 2 Canadian franchises. We have 2 European franchises. We have an Asian franchise, which is represented by Japanese, Korean, and Chinese, and there's a Kiwi in the league from New Zealand.
An American team rounds out the group of 6. Each squad has 10 players, 5 men and 5 women.
How important is that when it comes to growing the sport?
It's just so great for young girls to see, like, hey, you can grow up and you can curl on a stage like this, to give curling a chance to expand and to go to all different corners of the world and really show how great of a sport this is.
This week's preview season in Toronto is already giving the next generation a reason to cheer.
I do hope to see curling blow up in general, and I think the most recent Olympics really helped with that.
Canadian Brad Jacobs brought home the gold from the Milano Cortino Games. Now captain of the Shield Curling Club, he believes the league is essential to the sport's future.
But we have to do it right. It does feel integral.
So many Canadians were hanging on every rock during the Olympics. We saw the joy that you played the game with and your teammates. What would you want people to know about this game when they step on the ice and just how much fun it is?
Yeah, well, it's the ultimate team sport. You have nobody sitting on the bench at any point in time. Everyone is 25% responsible for 100% of the outcome. It's helped grow all of us as people.
The Rock League's inaugural season begins this January with stops in Utica, New York, Moose Jaw, Halifax, and Ottawa, already on ice. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Toronto.
When we come back, the Raging Grannies group brings the Water Not Coal petition to Lethbridge, soliciting signatures to prevent new mining in Alberta's Rockies.
There was a government report issued earlier this year. The Crow's Nest Lake is contaminated with selenium.
Good evening, folks. 12 degrees for a daytime high today. First time we've been in double digits in the month of April. Should get one more of those days tomorrow, and then a cool down for Sunday. Full look at your weekend forecast, including some heavy snow from the north. All in just a few minutes.
A rally today in Lethbridge collected signatures for a citizen-led petition started by Southern Alberta country singer Cord Lund. He's pushing the government to ban coal mining on the eastern slopes of the Rocky Mountains. CTV's Quinn Keaton has more.
Chanting against coal mining. The Raging Grannies set up at a Lethbridge intersection collecting signatures for the Water Not Coal petition to prohibit new coal projects.
We thought we'd start small, maybe it'd be just grannies. It's obviously a lot more than just grannies. We have other groups here, and we have plenty of people signing the petition.
They want to raise awareness ahead of a potential referendum on coal mining. They worry about the environmental impact of a new mine.
We have a serious problem with selenium contamination. There was a government report issued earlier this year. The Crow's Nest Lake is contaminated with selenium.
The coal industry says the idea of coal pollution is outdated. Much of the selenium contamination today comes from mines closed decades ago. Modern projects would have to meet much stricter environmental standards.
When it comes to how we design mines and operate today, these are not the mines of 100 years ago or even 10 years ago. So legacy mines, we have seen challenges that have come from that, and that's where those concerns are stemming from. But that's not how we operate today.
Any future coal projects would have the biggest impact in the foothills. So petition ralliers expect plenty of signatures in southern Alberta. But the message may not resonate in other parts of the province.
How many people can they actually get to sign on something that is important on one level, but it doesn't necessarily grab the attention of everybody who's far away from the mountains?
Petition organizers have to collect 177,000 signatures by June 10th. If verified by Elections Alberta, it would then be reviewed by the legislature or put to a referendum. Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Premier Danielle Smith hinted Alberta could soon be in a position to once again host the Winter Olympics.
I'm not committing to anything. I'm just planting seeds out there just so that you know how it all fits in together.
Smith delivered a State of the Province speech in Calgary yesterday. The Premier said if there's a new mountain resort, a new passenger rail system, new stadiums and arenas in Edmonton and Calgary, and the Olympic Oval is brought up to speed, then maybe the province could be in a position to bid on the Games.
Like, we're building all the things that might lend itself to future international bids for future really big types of events. Just putting that out there because I know this is a group that has been in favor of bids in the past.
The Premier also said maybe this year's Winter Olympics were not the right games to bid on given Calgary's water main issues. The next Winter Olympics will be held in France in 2030. Well, the Oilers can guarantee themselves a playoff spot this weekend. There are 4 different scenarios that would see the Oilers secure a playoff spot for a 6th straight season. The simplest way, the Oilers earn at least 1 point against the LA Kings Saturday afternoon. The other scenarios involve different combinations of teams winning or losing. The Oilers are currently first in the Pacific Division with 90 points. They have 3 games remaining. Well, Torrington's world-famous Gopher Hole Museum will be popping up at Calgary's Comic Expo. Taxidermied gophers will be displayed in an interactive exhibit called Into the Gopherverse. The new display was created for the Comic Expo and features scenes from Superman, Lord of the Rings, Star Trek, and other pop culture media. The team has been pushing themselves to get the Gopherverse ready in time.
It was something I inquired about, and then they're like, yeah, they were very excited about it. So it's coming up really soon for us. So there's a lot of work involved because we weren't anticipating it for this year.
The museum is currently closed because its building is in disrepair. The museum says events like the Calgary Expo allow the gophers to be on display in communities across Alberta. The Gopherverse will be seen at the Comic Expo from April 23rd to 26th. Well, after the break, a palette of petals. The International Orchid Fair comes to St. Albert, attracting enthusiasts and their pretty plants.
You catch the disease at a show like this, come and see all these crazy things.
If I count the 3 I bought today, that'll make it 18.
50 years later, you're still trying to get rid of them, but you're buying more every day.
Next week on Your Morning, have you ever seen something happening and not acted? How the bystander effect works, plus tips to get organized for spring and the health benefits of gardening.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. +1 this morning, 12 degrees for a high this afternoon. Not only the first double-digit day in April, but the first warmer than average day in April. We'll get to about 10 or 11 for a daytime high tomorrow. Cloudier skies, though, so it may not feel as beautiful as it did today with those bright blue skies and all the sunshine. Heavy snow tomorrow morning between Peace River and High Level. That'll spread east towards Fort McMurray through the course of the day Saturday. Late Saturday, as we head through the evening hours, this is a chance we could see some scattered showers overnight into early Sunday. You're not seeing it on Futurecast, but there is some modeling that indicates a chance of some light, wet flurries early Sunday morning. Most of the snow is going to stay well to the south of the Edmonton area. And actually, in through areas around Banff, Canada Essex, could be some heavy snow. By late Saturday, you get about 5 to 10 centimeters from High Level across towards Fort McMurray. Heaviest snow. Looks like it stays north of Peace River. I know this model has you at 0. You probably get at least some, just no heavy accumulation. There's some heavier snowfall in through the Banff region. Red Deer might get grazed with some wet snow as well on Sunday, but right along Highway 16 looks pretty dry, just cooler for Sunday. There's tomorrow, a degree or two cooler than it was today. There's Sunday, and there's the warm air returning for Monday. So we're back into the low teens, it looks like, for a daytime high on Monday. -3 in Fort McMurray tomorrow morning, -4 for Grand Prairie. Red Deer starts the day at around -3. We'll be around the freezing mark here in the city. 2 with some heavier snow for Fort McMurray. Chance of fog patches in east central Alberta and maybe even in the Edmonton area early tomorrow morning. Grand Prairie flurries and 3 degrees. 12 for Jasper with some rain. 14 in Red Deer and about 10 degrees in Lloydminster. 10 or 11 here in the city. Chance of some precipitation Saturday night or early Sunday. Most of the daytime hours this weekend, though, just mostly cloudy skies. After a cool down Sunday, big warm up Monday, and then another drop in temperature into Wednesday, Thursday of next week, and a chance for some snow middle of next week as well. That is your forecast.
For 50 years, the Orchid Society of Alberta has been bringing floral fans together. This weekend, it's hosting the Orchid Fair, where blooms are competing against others from all over the world. CTV's Connor Hogg has more.
Orchid enthusiasts have come from far and wide to St. Albert's Enjoy Centre for one of the biggest orchid festivals in Canada.
It's my mother's fault that I got started in orchids. One day she says to me, I heard about this Orchid Society and I'd like to go to the meetings, but I don't want to go by myself. So I'll buy you a membership and you can take me to the meetings. Well, that was the beginning of the end.
Daryl Albert's story follows a familiar pattern here. A passing interest peaked that soon bloomed into something more consuming.
There's a lot of closet orchid growers out there.
You catch the disease at a show like this, come and see all these crazy things.
If I count the 3 I bought today, that'll make it 18.
50 years later, you're still trying to get rid of them, but you're buying more every day.
Tracy Toohey brought her orchids from Saskatchewan to see what others have grown and compare them with her daughter's handiwork.
I think really empowering that a person can acquire a plant that maybe grows natively in Southeast Asia, but you could meet its growth requirements in your own house.
Judges are taking notice as well. Some of the blossoms here are competing against others from all over the world.
There's a few plants in here that are of that category for sure that we're going to look at today to see. And people in the past have won cultural awards at the Edmonton show. So if you come to the Edmonton show, you're going to see plants that are among the best in the world.
That quality is what many growers are striving for. Motivation for one of last year's winners came as a way to remember his roots, the person who led him to orchids in the first place.
My mother passed away exactly April 5th, exactly a year ago. Rita Bertie's, it was the day before she passed away, so I went up and told her we won the award and named it after her, and she just said, wow.
A tribute to growers past as future ones appreciate and discover the allure of the orchid, and maybe find one to take home. In St. Albert, Connor Hogg, CTV News.
And that does it for this edition of CTV News. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night and a great weekend.